Certainly some big figures that they're predicting with job losses, Kelly. What is being done to support these people who are potentially on the verge of losing their jobs?
Well, in the UK and here, they've rolled out relief packages for retail, and there's a lot of support financially going on. But honestly, I don't think it's enough. I think that we've underinvested in digital channels. We've underinvested in our retailers and driving them forward in an omnichannel environment. And if you look to some of the biggest growing platforms in the world, Amazon hit 1 billion this quarter, Farfetch 500% up, Temple & Webster 550% up on profit. The thing they have in common is their digital experience, not just channels, but actually offering a full digital experience. So we need to invest more.
Kel, what are we looking at with March, with JobKeeper? A lot of people are saying, particularly in the hospitality game, that we're about to fall off a cliff. And you would think that the retail sector is also under enormous pressure because of that.
Absolutely. And there's more devastation to come, unfortunately. And again, this is where we've underinvested in the digital channels. So if we look at when we went into lockdown over Christmas, one of the retailers or hospitality groups that I work with, a restaurant called Lovefish, which is a seafood restaurant. Overnight, they lost 90% of their bookings and they weren't even in lockdown, but they were affected by the lockdown. So we're seeing, and that's mortgages, that's job losses, that has this whole ripple effect. So we're seeing this, and we're going to see more of this as JobKeeper starts to be removed. And what we need to do is really invest, as I said, in the digital channels to help these businesses grow.
So, Kelly, what can we do in Australia that we can learn from overseas? I mean, how good is their click and collect, for example? Because they're doing quite well there, aren't they, with that system?
Yeah, there's massive growth in click and collect. And I think one of the problems we've had historically is that we've tried to protect high street foot traffic. We think that digital kind of eats into that. We've tried to protect shopping malls. But if we look to the UK, 30% of all retail sales is now done online, whereas here we're only sitting at 12 to 13%. So there's a big growth coming that people are not prepared for. But in that, there's time for us to get ready for that. There's time for government initiatives, for statewide initiatives to help activate not only the big guys, because the big guys have generally, some of them have got the funds to do it, but it's the small businesses, the ones that, that rely on their business for their mortgage payments and, and everything else. It's those that we need to help digitise.
One of the big things that the pandemic has shown us is how important it is for us to be vibrant inside our own borders. That means local business and us supporting local business. In your eyes, how do we do that more?
So there's a few things we can do. Obviously, shopping local, if we're looking for products, rather than going to some of the big platforms, looking locally around and searching for them. I'm working with a lot of retailers and trying to activate their local presence so they can be found. If you went out to a restaurant last night, jump on, or you went out and bought something yesterday, jump on and give that retailer a review. That's how they get to the top of Google. That's how they become Googleable, as I call it. And if we can get them on Google, we can get them searchable, then they're more likely to make sales, increase traffic, and increase their revenue.
And Kelly, what have you learnt personally in your experience through COVID? Have you worked through helping other people in certain ways to gain skills, or what advice can you give from what you've learnt?
Yeah, so as a result of actually speaking with you last time, Janie, I launched a digital course for retailers. And what I found is that they're spending a lot of time and energy in a place where it's not natural for them. And a lot of them are getting ripped off by agencies. So what I've learned is if we can equip them with the fundamental knowledge and skills, they won't necessarily all do it themselves in-house, but at least they have the knowledge to make sure they're investing in the right areas. So things like SEO, you speak to most retailers, they don't even know what it is, but it's one of the most critical parts of growing their business. So educating them on things like that.
March and April last year, it was traumatic, wasn't it, for so many people, nearly everyone around the world. And it was quite extraordinary to watch, and we mentioned this with the previous interview, quite interesting to watch small business get through that trauma and then get busy living. You know, they say success is that intersection of inspiration and perspiration, and it was just phenomenal how creative people became.
It was amazing. I saw a retailer who was about to open their first flagship store, and they had to pull out a physical, and then they launched a pure play online called Zero Waste. Love Fish Restaurant, they launched an AI chatbot. That's a restaurant launching an AI chatbot. Some of the big retailers haven't got to that yet. So we've seen some phenomenal kind of ideas, but also that kind of quick implementation as well, which is really exciting.
And yeah, we must talk about it next time, because I've seen online some solar panelled clothing, which I'm sure you'd be very interested in as well. It's just incredible, all of these inventions. So we might be wearing those very soon. Do you think, the solar panel outfits?
Absolutely. And a big opportunity, you know, this is where we can redirect and retrain some of these people in retail, you know, into, it's going to be a $6 billion industry, smart wearable technology.
Love it.
Smart clothing.
Does that mean we've got to wear a hat with solar panels on?
Yeah, no, don't have to do your hair and makeup. Sounds good.
Well, what I want is a clothing that changes colour, and that I can wear the same outfit, but it changes for me.
Nice one. Kelly Slessor, always great to see you, CEO of Shop You. Take care.
Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Kelly.